If you've been on the internet whatsoever, you have seen that people are not really vibing with The Boys season 5 and this final season as a whole. And honestly, like, I agree. Like, I understand how they got there. This show has been going on for 7 years. People have invested so much time into these characters, and then it didn't quite stick the landing. But why? Like I said, I agree that The Boys season 5 as a final season didn't really connect. Like, there was some kind of separation between the writers and the fans, but there's so much complaint, there's so much outrage online, and the internet is going to have so many reasons as to why they think it's bad. And honestly, I think most of it is stupid. I think most of it is wrong and just becoming nitpicky and bandwagon. And, oh, people aren't liking The Boys season 5. Let me hop on and be on the hate train. But from someone who is a fan of The Boys, the fan of these characters, I think that there are two main pillars as to why this season didn't quite get the job done like it was supposed to. I think the first pillar as to why The Boys season 5 did not work was this odd and out of place and awkward setup for the spin-off show Vought Rising. They spent so much time, so many plot points setting up characters from this time period that are going to be relevant in their show next year. And look, Soldier Boy is honestly like one of my favorite characters in the show, okay? And even in this season, he was awesome and he was hilarious.
Soldier Boy?
What? You're a dead socialist.
But like, there's got to be a more creative and satisfying way to bring him back into the fold, to bring him back into the show rather than him just be a measly setup for a spinoff show he's about to be in. Like, the stuff with him and grappling with, like, Homelander being his son and Liberty and all that stuff, I actually think could have really worked in this season for the direction they were trying to take Homelander and would have been good for this final season, but it wasn't just that. And you could feel it. Like, it just, The Boys set out to make fun of and parody the superhero genre and all the ways that they set things up in other projects and post-credit scenes that lead to nowhere and all that stuff. It was there to make fun of that, and then it became the very thing that it's set to make fun of. And so that is just a little frustrating and a reason why I found a lack of satisfaction in this season of The Boys. And now look, not that you can't set other things up and tease them, but like, there's a way to do it, and this one just felt awkward. The final season of The Boys should be to send off and wrap up the characters that we've spent this time in and their stories well. This should be about emotional payoff. This should be about thrilling and awesome scenes with these characters, but instead, there's so much time given to just promote your next thing, and that felt really hollow and empty. I think people have been too quick to just dismiss this season as a bad season when really it's not a bad season of The Boys. There's a lot of good stuff. It's just not a great final season. Like I think there's a lot of good stuff in here. I think it's absolutely hilarious.
You're also the son of God, and you should not be sleeping in a barn.
I think that the stuff with Firecracker is so rich. Like, her character being used to show, like, the consequences of this blind loyalty and, like, just wanting to be in the good graces of powerful figures and selling your soul and giving up on your religion and your core beliefs and slandering the name of a person that was good to you just so you can still be in the good graces of the powerful figure, all for him to show that he doesn't even care about you. You're nothing to him. He can kill you and it doesn't even matter. I think that there's so much richness in that, and that is, like, that's good television. And I honestly think that the stuff with Homelander thinking he's God and the silliness that has come with that, like, that's good television. That is a good episode of The Boys. I think that, like, it is a funny and creative and unique next step that I was not expecting them to take Homelander in. And I enjoyed that. I thought it was good stuff. However, it's not good final season stuff. I feel like if you're building up this kind of show that has been leading up to this confrontation between the boys and Homelander, there just wasn't enough, like, this buildup of this season. There wasn't enough satisfying moments for these characters for that final confrontation. And look, I'm mainly talking about the final season as a whole. The finale episode itself, so good.
And I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
Okay, maybe not perfect, but it was really good, really satisfying. Loved how they wrapped up everyone's character. But as a season, it just wasn't a good final season, right? Like, I feel like you set up Homelander thinking he's God and has influence over the people of America, and he's got his thumb on everyone, sets you up for the final season, right? Like, this would have been a better arc, I think, for season 4, and then season 5 is just Homelander going absolutely berserker mode. Like, you see Homelander with zero checks and balances. Everyone is afraid of him. Like other countries, he can do whatever he wants. He's going on massacres. He's killing people. We see him using his powers to a crazy extent. But we don't really see that. That is final season stuff. We should be like, this is the worst Homelander has ever gotten, and we need to see him stopped. This season didn't feel like this was the worst Homelander got. This is honestly him at his most tame, I feel like. The other seasons, he was far more intimidating, and I felt way more like scared and tense watching him. But this season was a lot sillier and a lot goofier, which, again, I don't think is bad, but it's not good for the final, like, we got to put a bow on this. We got to send off everyone well. We got to finish this story. It didn't feel like finishing the story well. So I believe that these are the two main reasons why The Boys season 5 didn't really work as a finale season. Didn't really work to wrap up this story. But I never want to just complain and bring up problems without bringing up a solution, right? So this is what I think they could have done differently so that audiences would have felt like, okay, this was a satisfying final season of The Boys. So first and foremost, in order to fix it, like, get rid of the Vought Rising stuff. Still bring in Soldier Boy, my goat, because he's hilarious. But, like, don't do anything with this empty, hollow agenda to just market your new spinoff show, okay? Get rid of all that. This season should have been all about the rise of Butcher, the rise of Homelander, and seeing them meet at the top. We need to see Homelander and Butcher continue to get worse and worse, more and more depraved, and continue, like, Homelander continues to kill people and push people away, and we see the same thing with Butcher. He's killing people, pushing people away. They are both becoming worse and worse, trying to achieve their goals until the very end when they meet, when they clash. I think there was just too much going on this season. We spent way too much time on characters that we really shouldn't have. I'm not saying you can't flesh out other characters. This is a TV show. There's plenty of characters and story arcs to wrap up, but the main focus, we should have been following and anticipating the clash of Homelander and Butcher and setting that up this entire season, like setting it up way bigger. It should have felt way more monumental. And honestly, like, necessary. Like, we should have felt the weight of it. And honestly, I didn't really feel it until the last episode. And again, the finale was good, but if you want to send off the show well and finish telling the story, Homelander and Butcher and their conflict and their rivalry is the heart of the show, and is the reason that I think people are so invested. And the lack of buildup and the lack of rise of these characters and watching them get worse and worse, but just feeling this like, oh, I hate watching Butcher continue to get worse, but like it's necessary to meet Homelander where he's at. Like that moral conflict is such a pillar of this show, and it just didn't feel like it was paid off all that well. And so I think that that would have really fixed a lot of people's issues, is that being the main focus of the show. Butcher, Homelander throughout the whole thing, and everyone else kind of side characters, and everyone else's character arcs and journeys kind of get wrapped up as a byproduct of the actions of Butcher and Homelander. Kind of like Huey's, like his character got wrapped up by ending Butcher's arc. I think that's perfect. I think that's great, and you could have kept that in, but like I think you can do that with everyone else's character. It's just kind of my opinion. So that's just my thoughts. That's what I think The Boys Season 5 didn't connect with people, and what I would have done differently. But what are your thoughts? What didn't you like about it? What would you have done differently? What could have saved this season of The Boys to been absolutely top tier, everyone loving it, everyone remembering it? Let me know in the comments. And also, if you have any prayer requests, please let me know in the comments as well. I'd love to be praying for you. Deuskis, homies.